Hey fellas, my name's Bale and welcome to part 1 of an ongoing series where I'll be recreating Five Freddy Security Breach in Minecraft. A lot of this video is just going to be me explaining the idea behind this build and the current state of its progress. Starting with the idea, I know a lot of people have already recreated this game numerous times in Minecraft, but I wanted to try something just a little bit different. For as long as I can remember, I've been pretty obsessed with the original map and idea for Security Breach. For those unaware, the game went through copious amounts of cutting back just before its release in late 2021, and a good chunk of the mall was removed to save space and time for the developers. This heavy setback is partial to what made the game receive such poor reception, and it's an honest shame we never got an update restoring these areas. Though, to be fair, the modding community has been on a solid roll for the last year, picking up the remains of Steelwall's doing. Getting back on track though, as an avid Minecrafter and recreator of things, I really wanted to give it a shot and try to do what Steelwall couldn't, and make one big cohesive map containing everything they refused to put back in the game. So I did. And so in July of 2024, my goal was set, and I started outlining everything you can see here. All the blueprints ready by December for me to build and start my YouTube series, is what I would say if I didn't already start building in December of 2024. And now it's the middle of 2026. Whoops. Yeah, so recording myself building the Pizzaplex was a bit of an afterthought that took some hard convincing from friends. There's a few crucial areas that I've already built now. The rest of this video's purpose is that so I can run through these areas and showcase what I've already created to catch everyone up to speed for the future. But without wasting any more time, let's get started on the lobby. After having initially outlined everything, I kinda knew that the lobby was what I wanted to start with first. While the Atrium itself might have seemed like a little bit more of a preferable start, I figured I might start with the lobby first just to ease myself into it before doing the bigger things like the Atrium. Starting with the west wing, there's not too much going on here. This is, as most people remember, the side where you walk out from the double doors at the start of the game once it reaches 12 AM. What's more interesting is what's through the double doors. Here we have the first office that you encounter. Outside of the office is the small narrow corridors that you have to evade Chica through. I loved building this little part. It was a bit of a deviation from the lobby. I was originally saving to build this area for one of my basement videos, but I decided that since it is technically part of the lobby, I might as well just include it here. Similarly to the west wing, the east side doesn't have too much going on either. Walking through here to the end, we have the parking garage door. We have the funky little stand where you get the complimentary entry pass. Walking down a little bit, we have the exit gates over there. And one of my favorite additions of this little project is the caution bots. Love these little guys. You can barely tell what they are, but I think it kind of does the trick. Now into something a little bit more interesting, the main part of the lobby. I had to use bamboo wood for the golden Freddy statue. I wasn't sure what else to use at the time. I was thinking gold blocks initially, but pretty ugly. Obviously to our left we have the Fazpad. I've always been a fan of this tiny little shack. I love the colours of it. It differentiates itself a lot from the main lobby colours. We have the kitchen if you come through here. Coming all the way down these stairs, we have the customer service area. Nice little space where you get the daycare pass. And coming down this locker hallway, we have our first glance at some cut content. It's just a narrow little corridor. Walking through it takes you through to the office from the west wing. There is a small entryway just over here. This ends up leading to the west arcade. I haven't built it yet, but we will get there one day. Now on the right side of the main area, we have the glam rock gifts. Not too much going on. A lot of shelves, a lot of props and things. As you can see, the ceiling is the checkerboard pattern seen in the RTX trailer. But other than that, not too much is different, I think. Now we just have the stairs here that lead upwards. I know, very riveting. Now up at this top floor, we have the photo booths. Obviously there's going to be a lot of these around the Pizzaplex. And now here's the most interesting part to me, is the 4 garage tours. Obviously these weren't here before in the base game. Another bit of cut content. These actually appeared in the Ruin poster, if anyone remembers. Now just for the last little bit of the lobby, to the right we have the 2 doors to the daycare, which is in base game. And to the left, you can see we have another random set of double doors, another bit of cut content that leads to the West Arcade. This has a cut airlock similar to the Daycare. Obviously, I'll show that off very soon, once we head into the Atrium. One last little bit I forgot to mention is the 2 offices by the lobby entrance. Obviously we have the very small one where you can find one of the first Fizzy Faz cans. Nothing crazy, it's a very small room. And last but not least, you have the very small office that you put in where you meet Vanny for the first time. I think that just about covers everything for the main lobby, so without further ado, let's move on to the Atrium. It was so long ago now, but I remember really enjoying building the Atrium back when I started it. It's a lot more simple than it looks. I mean, you can see in these photos that it was a pretty simple forward process. Building certain things like, you know, some of the headlights, the Mesa size sign, just some of the patterns and just the little textures. It was really it was a bit of a new thing for me. But I'd say overall, I think everything turned out the way I wanted to. I think it turned out pretty well. Flying around here, this should all be pretty familiar to most of you. Coming down to the main area, you can see the tables have been flipped, or kind of changed content, I guess. There's just a screenshot from back in the day of these tables with the different formations, so I thought I'd change it back. I think it looks a lot more interesting. At the very back of the ground floor, we have the food venues. I haven't decorated any of these yet. Same goes for the storage in the back here. I'll be saving that for the kitchen basement episode, which will be much further down the line. Coming through here, we have 2 more little cut areas, these 2 hallways that connect right back to the lobby. Again, not decorated yet, we'll get there. Coming to the east side, we have the Daycare, or well, Kids Cove, I guess. There's not much changes in any of these attractions, I don't think. You know, this is pretty standard stuff. We have Gator Golf further up. Loved building this little sub lobby. I think it's really nice. It's very good. You can see the stairs here. Again, more cut content. This goes up to the bakery, which haven't built yet, but we'll see that much further down the line. On the west side here, we have Fazer Blast. Again, very normal stuff. You can see I actually removed the elevator. Actually, yeah, I forgot to say that was the same for Gator Golf. All the elevators have been removed. They've been changed over for their cube map variants, which just have regular garage doors. Now, something a little bit different, Roxy Raceway. When I do release the Roxy Raceway video, which will be next, you'll see that the entire place has been tidied up. The very first example of this that I'll be showing is the lobby. This is all custom, kind of using whatever details the base game had with the dirty under construction area. I added like a road, I added just some little stands, I added the Fazer Blast stand from Help Wanted 2. That was fun to make. I figured I'd add it because, you know, every attraction seems to have a big standout little ride, like the Gator golf ball teacup things and the Ferris wheel on Fazer Blast. Moving upper floor, we have the 2 hallways between the attractions. On the west side, we have the Roxy Raceway Hall. This has also been cleaned up, evidently. Obviously, this will connect to the raceway and the beauty salon. The beauty salon I haven't finished yet. Coming over to the other side, it's mostly the same as the base game, except this big jutting out hallway that connects to the Daycare. I'll show the airlocks and these other connections when we get to the Daycare. Coming back to the front, we have the garage door that connects to the Daycare airlock, the one that you charge Freddy in the base game. And coming over to the other side, we have a new door that connects to the West Arcade. This airlock, which I'll show now, previously not in the game. We have a screenshot or 2 of it. It's in some old versions of the game, I'm pretty sure. I think it's a real shame that this little area got cut, and the whole thing got moved upstairs with a crappy, illogical elevator. But I was very happy to restore it. Something I forgot to mention, and something that you've probably already noticed, the entire tarp that was surrounding the raceway and the beauty salon, completely removed. Again, I know I said the whole area's been tidied, but just something I wanted to throw out there. On the very last floor, we have Bonnie Mole. Again, replaced the elevator with a garage door. I was very proud of this, the mural design. I changed it to the canon glam rock Bonnie instead of the weird FNAF 1 Bonnie that they used for some reason. Coming over to where the West Arcade's entrance usually is, this, which I haven't built yet, has been moved to the upper floor. So this connects to where the bridge is and where some other arcades are. Finishing up, we have the prize counter doors, the Superstar Arcade door, the El Cheps door. Nothing has really changed here, except that these are all going to work. They're not going to be just the El Chips door that works, and the ones are all shut off. We have the window, the door to Mesa size, best area in the game. And just another bit of cut content is at the back here, where the stage is. You have these two double doors that lead behind to these two staircases that lead upwards. And this double door here goes to the backstage, which, again, haven't built. We'll get there. I think that just about covers everything for the Atrium. There's still a few more areas we need to go through, a few more attractions. That's why I'm trying to go through this as quickly as possible, so apologies for the pace. Future videos will absolutely not be this quick in the future. I think though, with just about all of that wrapped up, I think we'll move on to the Daycare next. I can't lie, I was pretty nervous when I started the Daycare. The leading cause of that was easily the play structures inside the Daycare. It took a while for me to find what I was most comfortable with using, and obviously I kind of landed on the trapdoors that you can see here. Is it a little ugly? Yeah, kinda. No, it absolutely is a little bit ugly. But there weren't many better options, and the alternates that I did have wouldn't allow it to be as accurate as I could have made it. And while mine still isn't one-to-one, I'd say I did a pretty good job at replicating everything. At the very least, I think I managed to replicate the meta route, if you would call it that, for the lights out generator section. But besides that, coming out to the rest of the Daycare, it is a little bit squashed. You can kind of tell that everything's a little bit cramped together. That's kind of what caused the play structures to not be too accurate. But I still think it kind of works. The ball pit is still pretty much the exact same. I think I got it down pretty accurately, even down to the slide you first come down when you enter the area. There's definitely some unique block choices here and there, but I still think it manages to look how you would expect. Showing off some progress photos, you can tell it's a little bit similar to the Atrium in that it was a very straightforward process. There wasn't too many problems I had while creating, other than the play structure choices that I had to make. I'd say it took arguably longer than the Atrium, surprisingly. I think it's because the details are a lot more finer in this area. It's a lot more compact and less spaced out. You can see that I actually did change the walls. They originally were just light blue concrete, but I ended up changing them very recently to a mixture of light blue wool and concrete powder. Moving to the airlocks, this very first one is the one that we see in-game. Just a very tight corridor that leads into a big open area with the water fountain. I loved creating the recharge stations. That was a very fun thing to design for me. And as stated before, with the garage doors for the prize counter in the East Arcade, the Daycare doors will also be unlocked, not out of order anymore. Coming downstairs, back in the Atrium, over at Kids Cove, we have one of the 4 cut airlocks. This one is just a big fat corridor that leads out to the Daycare with the big rainbow garage door. We actually saw this in some pre-release footage, I'm pretty sure. And if you come through here, it comes back out to the hallway that connects the Daycare and Monty Golf's lobbies. This smaller garage door to the right takes us over to the small arcade room underneath the Daycare. I like this little area. It's a shame that these 2 airlocks in particular got cut, because they would have been so convenient to have in the game. Anyways, coming back upstairs, we have this other garage door that connects to the Daycare on the upper floor, the other party rooms. There's nothing too fancy going on here, other than this staircase that leads upwards to the 3rd floor, which I haven't finished yet, so we'll have to miss out on this bit for now. And over on the other side, this little singular door that comes to the top of the lighthouse in Kids Cove. Another thing I'm very saddened we didn't get to see in the base game. And for the very final airlock, we have this little boring one at the very end. Not sure why this is here, but it is. It's still pretty cool in a way. But yeah, that's all of them. Speeding through the rest of the daycare, we have the party rooms. Not too much of note going on here. It's pretty standard. Each one feels very similar. We have the gift shop downstairs. Very, you know, kind of nothing burger. It's still nice though. Coming through this large garage door, we have the entrance to the Fazbear Theatre. Coming further along, we have the theatre itself. It is a little bit narrow. It's not the most game accurate thing in this entire build, but I think it still works out. I think it still looks pretty. We have across this hallway, we have Sun's little secret bedroom through here. It does kind of just look like a mess of blocks. Coming through this little hole, we have the small room where the Balloon Boy arcade is. Forgot what it was called. This main area isn't too fancy. Obviously we have the two doors lead back out to the daycare. Now coming out at the back of the daycare, you can see we have these two double doors on either side that lead to a back hallway that was cut before release. This entire thing is custom designed. There's no leftover maps or cube maps of it. Although I did manage to re-implement the cut office, which we do have evidence of. This whole storage area leads to just a small hallway that connects to the theatre again. Overall, I think this area's turned out pretty good though. And last but not least, coming down to the basement, we have the wardrobe for the theatre. This area has actually certainly gone through a lot of changes since I started building it. Overall though, I think this turned out pretty well. I'm pretty proud of how it looks now. That should just about be everything. There is still a cut utility hall that connects the daycare to Monty Golf, but I might save that for the future. Now with the daycare wrapped up, let's quickly move on to Fazer Blast. Unlike everything else thus far, I'm pretty sure Fazer Blast doesn't have too much to talk about. Starting with the entry room, there's not too much here. It's very simple. In the bathrooms over here, there's one door at the end of each bathroom that leads out to the cut long hall. This massive hallway connects Fazer Blast to Roxy Raceway, as well as a few like stair connections into the basements. Over on the other side, we have the security office over here. Very, very small room, but you can see the door at the back that was usually out of order opens up to the West Utility Hall. I haven't built the Utility Hall yet, but I'm very excited to get started on that at some point. Coming through the entrance hall, I had a lot of fun building these hallways. The very sci-fi design of this entire place was actually a lot of fun to do. We have the tutorial room where we get that presentation from the staff bot. I like building the planets on the walls, even though it's kind of hard to make out what they are. Further along, we have the, I guess, team assignment room. And the doorways leading out to the arena. There's a lot of hallways. This one leads to the prize room, or the lounge, where you get the actual Fazer Blaster. And this final hallway takes us to the elevator leading through to the main part of the attraction, the actual arena itself. It is absolutely a mess of blocks. There's a lot going on here, a lot of colours and flashing lights. Coming onto the ground though, it does start to become a little bit more coherent. It's about as faithful as I could get it to the original. I did have a lot of struggle with building the spaceship in the middle, but I think I got there in the end. I think it looks kind of alright. Also in the far back corner, we have the little storage room where you get the Fredbear poster. You'll notice these two doors. They both lead to... One of them leads to a cut stairway that leads to Roxy Raceway. The other leads to a ruin area. This is probably the first ruin area I think I'm showing off. This hallway... which takes us to a locker room and then a much thinner hallway. A lot of this is tidied up and turned into kind of custom content, because a lot of these doors don't usually lead anywhere in Ruin. I think what I end up creating kind of makes sense logically. And then coming up to the end of the hallway here leads to a giant staircase, and the staircase ends up taking us all the way to Roxy Raceway, which I won't be showing today. That'll be for a future video released soonish, hopefully. Coming all the way back, we have the massive spiral staircase from the Vanny ending, and obviously the catwalks that lead to Vanny's office. I love this little room, and this connects to Bonnie Bowl, which we'll be seeing in the future. There's not too much else. I haven't built the hallways and the server room from the Vanny ending, because I'm leaving that for the basement episodes. I think that should be just about it for Fazer Blast though. It was a very quick area to build. I think it took me like 1-2 weeks at the most, compared to the Atrium and the Daycare, which took about like a month-ish each. With all that said and done though, our next and last area is Monty's Gator Golf, so let's move on to there next. Gator Golf. Where do I start with Gator Golf? This attraction, to put it lightly, was miserable to make for me. The trees were astonishingly time consuming. There was definitely fun here and there, no doubt, but most of the time, all I can remember is building the trees. This attraction deviates so heavily from the way Fazer Blast and the Daycare were structured, for better or for worse, and it was definitely an interesting new process for me to try out, was building all this natural terrain and the different greenery and shrubs. It was all absolutely worth it though. I think this place looks gorgeous. I think it's one of the best looking attractions, if not the best looking attraction in the entire Pizzaplex. On this top floor where the entrance is, you can see we have the cut airlock. This big funky hallway which ended up getting replaced by a horrible elevator. I really love this little area. And I love the tiny little hallway that connects back to the Daycare airlock that I mentioned just before. To the side of the entrance we have the gift shop, the small little gift shop. And then coming through this pathway, we have the start of the first golf holes. Building most of the holes wasn't anything too challenging. It was mostly the problem of Gator Golf's building layout. It's at such an odd angle and it made some of the holes a bit difficult to create. Flying around here though, I don't think I butchered any of these too bad. I think they all look fairly okay in my opinion. Here, one of the main centerpieces, we have the massive ball pit with the little house shack. I think this kind of turned out okay, especially the little dunny. Kind of coming into the middle, we have the Gator Golf arcade. We have, you can see on the sides, we have the swamp. Can't forget the adorable little Monty alligator heads that kind of keep popping out. We have the dark room over here. I'm not really sure what this room is, but coming through the hallway, we have the two restrooms, Freddy's recharge station. You'll see this, what was once a single level 10 door, is now accessible. This is a big staircase that leads down just to the basement. Fun fact about this massive Monty head, this is the first thing I ever built. After I finished the outlines for the entire structure of the Pizzaplex, I went ahead and I did this first because I knew it would be a nightmare, and I was right. And then we have this room with another few golf holes. I had a bit of fun building the fish bones and I think it's a rib cage. Just a few other holes around the side. We have the main kind of swamp area that's all gated off and closed. We have the big van hole. This was a bit annoying because the van is just way too small for Minecraft, so it's not very accurate, but I kind of did what I could. Finally, in the main area, we have the show stage where Monty would usually play. I still have yet to build the hologram that we see in pre-release footage. But anyways, to the side we have the Gator Grub Shack, little mini restaurant diner area. Through the main kitchen, we have this small little cut room, which I turned into a freezer. And then we have the very decorated long narrow hall that eventually leads to the security office. This door here leads to the utility east hall. This is the room I was talking about from the Daycare that I will be saving for a later episode. And lastly, we have this small little maintenance server staff room, not really sure what it is. That's mostly it for the main area. Obviously, flying above, we have the catwalks for the Monty boss fight. These were evidently very easy to build. Most of the problems came with building like the support beams and the vines and whatever else is hanging above. Oh, I also do intend on building the gondola ride from Ruin, but I'll probably be saving that for a little bit further in the future. I think that just about covers everything from Gator Golf though, and the entire Pizzaplex for that matter. There are little bits and pieces here and there that I've left out, but I'll most likely cover those things in the future, and if not, then you get to discover them for yourself, I guess. There's still so much more I need to build, and I can't wait to build all of it. More importantly though, I can't wait for you guys to now be a part of that journey with me. This is obviously my first video ever, so I'm not expecting it to turn out phenomenally, but I hope you'll stick around and stay tuned as I continuously update the build. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're interested in staying up to date at all with this project, please subscribe and turn on notifications. I also do have a Discord server. If you're interested, feel free to join that as well. I'll be posting updates time to time and keeping everyone in the loop, of course. But other than that, I hope to see you all in the future. Bye!